welcome to this week's Devil in the Detail podcast. I'm Rob Paxson, and I'm here talking all things Salford Devils. Joining the show this week, as ever, we got Paul Parkin. How's your week been, mate? Obviously, after the victory against Warrington, must be buzzing.
Yeah. Well, we always say, don't we? After a win, it's the week seems to go quick. You can't wait for the next game. We're on edge. I've had a really good sort of decent weekend. Really, I went to watch the wife play for Folly Lane Ladies on Saturday, and she's picked up an injury, so she's now got a leg in a boot, which is not great. So yeah, but that was all right, and I've been watching all the football that's on at the moment, which is, if you're not into football, it's probably a bit of a pain in the backside, but I'm loving it. Can't get enough. All the rugby league to catch up on from the weekend. That's been good. And I'm well behind. I've not managed to watch half the stuff I wanted to watch in terms of sport this week. But no, it's brilliant. The Cricket World Cup's on. It doesn't get any better for me, to be honest with you. There's not enough hours in the day for it. But yeah, no, it's been good. I mean, Friday was obviously wonderful. I know we're going to talk about it, but everything about the day, I decided I was going to get the train, which I haven't done for a while.
Did you?
Yeah, I jumped on a train, and I say jumped on the train. Obviously, I didn't. I sort of crawled on. And I met a lot of the lads in Warrington. It was like the old days. It was really good before the game. We had a good, a bit of banter and a good chat. And Warrington's always good for that. We know that it's a good away day, isn't it? So that sort of set the weekend up nicely. And then went on to the match, which was, well, unexpected, let's say that. And then and then the week's just carried on. I can't believe it's Tuesday. It's just a shame it's Sunday this week. Seems like ages away. I want the game to come now, but pretty good, all good. And what about yourself? How's your week been?
Yeah, Father's Day weekend, wasn't it? So went shopping, got myself some new trainers. Some I won't show them because I'll have to do some kind of gymnastics for them. But red, white, and black trainers. So I'll be able to wear them on a match day. Went for a bit of a coffee crawl. Gone on the days I'm on a pub crawl. So a few coffee shops in and around Stockport, which I enjoyed, and then obviously World Cup in it, and World Cup Euro Championships in it with all that jazz. And like you say, Tuesday, times go so fast on it when you're having fun. Notice the weather's been a bit grey though, hasn't it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Grey during the day,
yeah,
right, and then sunny at night. And that's the thing that's really puzzling me at the moment, Parker. I mean, my garden, because obviously working, I get home about 6 o'clock. I've got about an hour to try and mow the lawn. It's not happening at the moment. Last couple of days been too busy.
Well,
looks like a scene from Vietnam at the moment. My front garden, there's weeds growing 6 foot tall. Not good.
Well, it's funny you say that. My brother said something the other day, and it's true. 5 o'clock every day, the sun comes out.
Yeah.
No matter what the weather's been like all day, 5 o'clock on the dot, the sun comes. I think there's something going on, but. And then later on, it starts to cloud over and everything. But you think, we're in for a lovely night. And you think, go and sit outside. And the minute you sit outside, it clouds over and starts to rain. And you think, what am I supposed to do? But I was watching the weather forecast on the local news earlier, and it looks like summer might just be around the corner now. This weekend, it could pick up quite nicely. I think by Friday, we're back to sort of 18 degrees, which is, okay. It's a little bit another 10 degrees hotter myself because I like it warm, but for the game on Sunday, hopefully, if the sun comes out, two really good quality attacking teams, hopefully bring out a big crowd. So yeah, I'm with you there with the weather. It's been absolutely just crazy this year, but you watch out for it. 5 o'clock every day, the sun will come out.
Guy with a walkie-talkie saying, "Right, he's outside. Bring out the sun. Bring out the sun." And he gets comfy. It's like, take it back in. That's what's happening, Parker.
It's one of the lesser conspiracies.
Yeah. So, loads going on this week. Salford's victory against Warrington. Ladies' victory away at Castleford. Reserves defeat away at Warrington. Physical disabilities victory away at York. So, loads to go at. All the big news. And then preview the big game. Two big games this week. Our ladies are away, and the home team Salford are home to Helens. So we'll start with the victory against Warrington. So Salford Devils were victorious away from home. Warrington last week, they beat them 25 points to 12. Fantastic performance from Paul Rowley's men.
Listen, I said last week I didn't think we'd have enough to beat them. I thought they'd be on a bounce back from the cup. I knew there is two ways to look at it, the emotional side of it as well. The fact they got beat and they didn't perform. How were they in the camp? I know they changed a couple of players, but before the game, I didn't think we had it. And then somebody in the pub read out the team, and I thought our team's actually not that bad. And I read that obviously Williams was out for them, which is a huge thing, and a couple of others. And I thought, you never know. You never know. And there was a vibe around the place at the time. And we got in the ground, and the atmosphere was brilliant. But we'll come back to that in a bit. Listen, from kickoff, we just looked well up for it. Every tackle was super. I mean, that was the big thing for me. It's easy to go on about the 3 tries we scored in the first half, the brilliance of them, the creativity and everything that went about it. For me, the key to that victory was that defence. In the first half, we were unbelievable. I mean, we were in the second half, to be fair. Obviously, they went and scored a couple of tries, a dubious one in that as well. But I think that first half, 2 or 3 men in every tackle, didn't give Warrington an inch. We were off the line, we were in the face. They've got some dangerous players, some really, really quick players. And every time one of them got the ball, we shut them down. And I watched today on the thing that the club do behind the sticks, the video thing. And before the game, you saw them warming up. And you saw what we were going to do. And then when you watch the game, you see us do it. That exact thing, how we were going to close them down, the danger men, what we were going to... And I thought we handled Warrington really, really well. And I mean, our pack, it's been much maligned all year. The fact, certainly the front row, that we haven't had any consistency. We're probably not big enough. You wouldn't have known that on Friday night. They looked like they were giants. They were absolutely brilliant. They worked the socks off. And again, we didn't have King Vuniawa. We didn't have Jack Ormonroyd again. A couple of big men up front, and still we were dominant in the pack. I mean, our back rowers we know all about. Ollie Partington, Cal Watkins, Sam Stone, who, I mean, he signed his new deal last week. He just gets better every time I watch him. He's one of them that you go, he's an 8 out of 10. And then every now and then he's an absolute 10. Brilliant from him again the other day. But our front row, obviously we didn't have a hooker really as such. But you throw Joe Mellor in there. I mean, what a signing he's been. He's not his position, but you wouldn't know that. You think he played there all his career. So yeah, I mean, just the whole performance. But that first half, we were practically faultless. I think we ran at over 90% completion. The defence, missed tackles must have been minimal, absolutely minimal. And you can't ask for more than that. That's probably one of the most complete 40 minutes I've seen from any Salford side in a long while. And we've seen some good ones in recent years. But that against a really good Warrington side who needed a win. They'd lost the last 2 in terms of cup and league. They were at home. They were, maybe to put something in for the fans. We didn't give them a sniff. And I'm not saying Warrington were poor on the night. I just don't think we let them play.
Yeah. I thought, like you said, in total control throughout, completing high. I think Paul Rowley said it was over 90%. Early meters in the sets, which was pretty good. Kicking game was fantastic. Mark Sneed was bang on. And I think it's game management. I think, like you say, when you have that roll on, it's difficult for teams to defend. I think Warrington really struggled on our sort of go forward, especially early in the sets. The stats will back that up later on when we go through them. But yeah, every set was completed really well in a positive way, and we got results from it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you mentioned Sneedy's kicking game, by the way. All the way through the game, he was putting these kicks in from 40, 50 yards back, and they were landing, they were causing chaos back in the Warrington defence. Some were taken really well. The young New Guinea winger who scored a couple of tries, he took a few really good balls. Dufty, obviously, was a quality fullback. He got, but we really peppered him. And I think, looking at it, you normally say, don't kick to that player. Sorry, the heavens have just opened. I wonder what it was. And I thought someone was tapping on my window. Yeah, I think sometimes you go, oh, don't kick to him because he's dangerous when running the ball back. I think it's a tactic. Let him run it in, tire him out, take the sting out of them, because then when they are near our line, they're not going to be as threatening. We took a yard out of them maybe, and we did that superbly to all their back 3 certainly, and that was all through Sneedy. And I know we'll talk about it shortly, but that kick for Dion Cross, that's genius. That's G. And it's not just the idea of doing it; it's the execution of doing it. We say it every week at the moment, and he's clearly in the best form of his life, Mark Sneyd, and he's so comfortable with it. He just looks like he's just having a laugh. It's so easy for him against quality every week. He just shines, and again, man of the match again, top of the man of steel running. I don't know what more we can say about him. He's getting older, but you wouldn't know it.
Yeah. Debuts also for Logan Lewis and Harvey Wilson, both impressed. I thought Logan Lewis was a real good hard worker. Obviously, we give players games, don't we, before we start sort of just wondering how good they are and if they can play for Salford. But very impressed so far with them two. Only one game, but I'm sure if they keep playing like that, they'll be certainly in the 17.
Well, I think Logan was from the minute he took that first ball in, I could tell he's not someone who's bothered about reputations. He got it and he charged in. I don't know if it was Vaughan or one of the big Warrington players. There was three of them in the tackle and they smashed him really. And he got up and he had a grin. And I thought, I like this lad. I like what he's about. There was no aggro. There was nothing. He's 21 years old. He ran it in. He just went. Next time, he got it again and ran it in again. But he ran. And I say it every week. People around me must get annoyed, but I just say straight and hard. Run it straight. Don't run sideways. Don't run angles. You're making it easier for the defender to get hold of you. Unless you're going to go around him, which 90% of the time forwards don't do. Straight and hard. Make it difficult for them. Make sure they know that they're in a tackle as well as you do. And he did that. And he did it every time he got the ball. And the joy in his face at the end of the game, you were probably on the side and wouldn't have seen it when he was celebrating in front of the fans. He was like a kid at Christmas because obviously he'd never experienced anything like that before in Australia. They don't do the way we support. It's not many do, to be fair, but he absolutely loved it. The grin on his face, he was like a school kid. It was brilliant to see. I think we might have found one there. We were saying last week we don't know anything about the kid. We don't. Nobody really knows anything. And I watched him, and he does remind. I'm not going to say it yet. I'm going to wait. But from his first outing, he reminds me of a certain player that I liked from the past. I'm not going to go any further yet because I don't want to label him anything. But I'm sure it'll come out eventually. But he was, he was superb, and you can't ask for more than that in your debut. Away at Warrington, you get a win. You have a great game. I think big things might come from him. Yeah,
atmosphere was amazing as well. Sky commentators showering the away support with compliments and how loud they were, and obviously a great win, but a great performance off field too.
Well, I was in and amongst it, and I've got to say, I was surprised. Even before I got in the game, I was walking round from Warrington Town Centre, and you could hear singing. And I just thought, obviously, it'd be the Warrington fans. You come in on that side, so it's their main stand, if you like, where all the fans are gathered. As I walked towards, I thought, no, that sounds like our lot. And as soon as I walked in, I looked round, and the atmosphere was incredible. And like you say, I watched it back in Sky. They raved about it constantly. Just said, we hadn't shut up all game. Good numbers turned up, and it was, our fans were absolutely first class. If it was like that every week, I know generally we are away, just not so much at home, I don't think, these days. But it lifts the players. You can see that, and you could see at the end of the game when they were celebrating with the fans again what it meant to them, and the smiles on their faces. And I don't know, it develops a bond between the two. It was fantastic. One thing I will say, by the way, that we walked in the game. I was there with my mate who lives in Warrington, oddly enough, and we walked through a little tunnel into the stand, and we were looking at the Salford fans, and he said, "You don't realise how big they are, do you?" And I was looking at the fans, going, "What? Well, normal sized people, most of them. Some of them maybe not so, but." And he went, "No," and I turned around, and the players were warming up in front of us, and it is only when you go close to them you realise how big these men are. Yeah. These are units, and ours is a small team, really. But you looked at them and thought, "Oh my God, yeah," because you literally yards away from them. We don't see that every week, and it was one of them where it's just like, yeah, these are mountains, really. I realised why I stopped playing. You don't want to get hit by one of them. So,
No.
but yeah, overall, the whole night from start to finish, from the team, from the fans, yeah, everything. The two lads on debut couldn't have gone any better.
Yeah, always you're talking about players not being big enough. You always say it's like, remember, is it Steve Nash? The Mark II, Steve Nash, as a forward. And when he first came through, I thought to myself, he's not big enough to make it. But then you saw him in real life, and he stood around normal size people.
Yeah,
and he was like, "Yep, he's big." So it was. It shows, like you say, when they're all together. Rugby players are in a group, then you think, you can tell the size different, but in the general public, they're all massive, aren't they? You know what I mean? So
intimidating, I think it is. And that's what amazes me about the game. You look at these lads, and like I said, I've been watching a lot of football recently, and you see these guys crash into each other and get up like Lewis did at the weekend, and get some smiles at them. He's not lying down on the floor. He's not going to feign injury. He's not going to cry about it. And when you see the size, and you think, to be honest, I don't think I'd get up for about 3 days. So, but that was just as a side note. If you don't get up close to them, please have a go and just have a look. And before we start thinking that they're not very big, because they're massive.
And they're all mad as cheese as well.
Yeah, that's another one.
Find. So let's have a break. Let's have a run through the timeline. Salford scored first. Nenny McDonald, break by Ethan Ryan on one side of the field. Good hands across the field. Stam Stone with the offload. Nenny McDonald cut back inside. The fullback, was it Duffy, and went over under the post. Salford led 6-0.
Yeah, it was a great break to start with by Ethan Ryan. Another brilliant performance from him again, by the way. Him and Hankinson, and Dion Cross at the back, them three. Considering realistically, I'm not sure any of them are playing in the best position. Dion obviously last year was a centre. Chris Hankinson's a centre, whatever. Ethan Ryan, probably more of a fullback for me. So, but when you watched them, they were, again, brilliant. But great break from Ethan. And then the quick play of the ball is the key as well from there, because Warrington is still retreating. And we move the ball across, and then Sam Stone not only does he make the half break, but he has the idea and the brains to keep his arm loose and just slip that ball out. And all good players, try scorers. Nenny McDonald is there waiting for it, and it fell in his hands. And I mean, we've all seen the clip now of Matt Duffy looking the wrong way as he makes the break. He's looking at the fans behind the sticks, and Nenny McDonald's gone through, and you hear the crowd go up, and that's when he realises that something's happened. I mean, game awareness. And then once you've got Nenny McDonald running at you one-on-one, I'm sorry, but you don't want that, especially if you're slightly off balance, because he's just going to go through you like you're a turnstile, and that's exactly what he did. Scored under the post. Great try for us. Got us off to a flying start. And yeah, I mean, it was just so well worked by the whole team. And the brains, straight away, right, we've made the half break. What are we doing now? Where are we going? It wasn't just, pick up, I'll have a quick scoot and have a go. Get the ball out. That's the way we attack. That's what we do. And I say it every week, sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. And there you go. That's a perfect example.
Yeah. So penalty goal by Mark Sneed. Salford's next try, Dion Cross. Wonderful hands from Salford. Laffey gives it. Cross, who burns the field down the wing, goes round the fullback like he's not even there, and goes over for an absolutely wonderful try.
Yeah, I mean that's one of them tries that you just sit back and just smile looking at. I mean the hands through the hands, like you say, to Timmy Laffey. Brilliant, quick, slick passing. And he's gone down the wing and he's had a look. He's got Sneed inside him. He could have easily given him the ball. I don't know if Sneed would have had the pace to go past Matt Duffy, who's rapid. But Dion's looked at him in the eyes and gone, yeah, you're not having this. And the way he sort of dummied and body swerved at the same point. And Duffy didn't know what day it was. I remember last year at Cass, and he did it to Gareth Widdop. And Gareth Widdop was playing on the pitch at Castleford, and he ended up near Hull, I think. He'd gone that far. He'd gone off for a burger somewhere, I don't know. And he did the same thing, and it was absolutely class. Just to see somebody go past people is brilliant. You think back to the great wingers of the past, the Fires and people like that who used to do it for fun. When you see somebody outstrip a player down the outside, there's not much better to see. But then to have that brains just to go, right, I'm taking you on. Because Duffy is quick. I mean, he's probably one of the quickest in Super League. And Dion's gone, I'm taking you on. But the way he did it, the body swerve and the little dummy, just quality, absolute quality try. And again, backed up more or less straight away after the other one, and Warrington didn't know what day it was.
Yeah, so great try from him. Next try, Mark Sneed. Great play by Callum Watkins. Bursts a line, offloads it to Ethan Ryan, who goes down the middle. He has Mark Sneed in support, who races over from 40 metres to score. I tell you what, the Watkins offload to Ethan Ryan was world class. Ethan Ryan's sort of awareness and where Mark Sneed was brilliant. Just about drew the fullback enough for Sneed to go under the post. We talk about Rowley ball. That was amazing.
Yeah, and the other thing about that is that it came from, we offloaded and Warrington had knocked the ball down. And rather than just stopping and thinking, right, we're going to get the ball, it was a scrum, or just dying with the ball, Callum Watkins has had the speed of thought to think, I'm going that way. He knows he's disillusioned in the Warrington defence because they've come out, they've knocked the ball down, they don't really know what the referee's going to give. He's picked it up, he's gone straight forward. Their players just about got hold of him, and then that offload, like you say, that's Callum Watkins. That's what he's doing. Callum Watkins things there. That's just him. He does it every week, that kind of thing, but you don't really notice because he's usually out wide and it might get closed down or whatever on that point. And again, it's that awareness of someone being on his outside. Two of them were switched on, not just Cal. Somebody else watched what was going on. Keep going with the play. Don't let it stop. And then obviously that ball inside, and then Sneedy's away unchallenged under the post. For probably one of the easiest tries he'll score, but yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. At that point, you just stood back and you just clapping and going, "This is wonderful." And obviously the Sky commentators and everybody else. I mean, I've listened to the start of another podcast this afternoon. I didn't get to listen to it all, but they straight away were just praising us. You know, the skill levels that we show every week, and the question is, why can't other teams play the same way? I haven't got the answer for that. I mean, it's a lot to do with coaching, a lot to do with personnel, but it's having those players like Callum Watkins who just think like that and know what to do. He was a centre, a world-class centre, you know. So he's not thinking like a forward in that way. I'm not having to go at forwards, by the way. I'm not digging them out, but he just got that ball and looked and thought, there's a gap there. I can go for it. And then not only to go for it, as soon as the Warrington players got him, he's had a look. He knows someone's there. Offload and just class. And he's one of them like Dion's before. It's one of them you could just watch all day.
Yeah, wonderful try. Salford's point scoring end in that first half with a Mark Sneed drop goal, his 50th Super League drop goal. Like you say, inspirational, keeping the ball going, making us tick. Such an important player, and it's obviously moments like that where he sees the clock counting down, takes the one, just keeps the scoreboard ticking over.
We were screaming for a one-pointer, screaming. The set before, and then Warrington, I think, dropped the ball, didn't they? We give them the ball back, and then they dropped it, and we got it back, and then literally seconds ticking on the clock, and I thought, he's just going to stick this out. I thought 19 would be better than 18. It sounds crazy, but it's a big difference. You know, it's an extra score. And then he just got it on that left side, and I thought, it's a bit awkward from there. Just bang, straight over. The brains of the man. You know, that's what I'm saying about him making it look easy. The drop goal wasn't even in doubt from when he hit it. You know, it was going over. There was no thoughts about it. Just natural to him. You can tell he's the kind of lad that growing up was probably never had a rugby ball out of his hands. Born with one. You know, he probably slept with one. He knows how it works, and he just got it and slipped it over. And at 19-0, I know we've been there before, and none of us wanted to say at half time, but you're thinking, we can't lose this. You know, this is Salford, and we have done it in the past, but this isn't that Salford. This is this Salford, and it's very, very different. And I actually thought at 19-0, I thought we broke these. We might go on and score quite a few more here, but we don't need to. And I said to my mate at half time, so we don't need to score again. Yeah. If we just defend like we did in the first half, they're not going to score. They got, you know, obviously we'll go on to that. They got a bit of luck maybe, but I just thought at 19-0 at half time, the players are going off. I was in awe of them. Like I said before, it's probably one of the most complete 40 minutes I've ever seen. I think Paul Rowley say that the only reason we didn't get 100% completion was that pass that went into touch.
Yeah.
Which again, we're looking for that ball. If he catches that ball, we've already created an overlap. We're going in. Yeah. So it's not stupid play. It's not a bad ball. He's not just dropped it or anything like that. He's thinking, we're going, you know, there's a chance here. You accept that every single day of the week. So just a fantastic first 40.
Yeah, fantastic first 40. Like you said, wonderful. Second half, though, wanting to hit back. Try from Tyke in the corner. Video referee looked at it for a while, decided that Dion crossed his bite. His superhuman effort in defence didn't prevent the score. And then Matty Ashton got over another corner loose pass. I think it was by Chris Atkin. Ball went down. Warrington recycled it. Ashton put the burners on and over in the corner. And that was 19-8.
Well, the first try, the ref sent it up as a try, and you might as well forget anything from that point on, because his mate in the video booth or whatever is going to back him up and give it. How many times did it ever get overturned? It's ridiculous. Even Barry McDermott said at the end of the game, it's not a try. There's no evidence that he scored a try there. So for the referee to think that he did in the first place, he's got it wrong. It's not a try. But then what's the point of going to the video ref if he can't conclusively go either way, but gives it anyway because the ref sent it up because he doesn't really know? It's a strange rule. I think we need to drop that. I think if the referee doesn't know, go to the video ref, but don't influence that decision. Let the video ref make that call. If the video ref sees it without anything and then gives a try, fair enough. He's seen something that, whatever. But as soon as the referee went try, we all just went, well, he's going to give it, innit? And he watched it on the screen. Like you said, he must have watched it for about 5 minutes. At no point do you see him get that ball down. Well, it's not a try then, is it? So anyway, but that's the bit of luck that Warrington needed and got. And it was good build-up before it from them. They worked the ball well out there, and I thought he had a good game, that winger. The Ashton one, again, a bit of luck, because it's off us trying to keep the ball alive. And then one ball further on, he skipped, he sort of weaved a little bit, and then, like I say, Ashton probably is the quickest in the league, I would have thought. And once he's gone, it's a try, and you're thinking, oh, what was I saying at half-time? Salford can't throw this away. And then he bangs the conversion over, and it wasn't given.
Yeah,
which is absolutely bizarre. And in the end, it didn't matter, but it could have done. And I've seen it twice this year. I've seen us have one chalked off that went over. So, come on, linesman, you've got one job there. It can't be that difficult for you both to get it wrong. It's, a bit bizarre. And the referee to see it from that angle and not get 3 officials all got it wrong. Maybe the video ref could step in and say, went over that. But anyway, it didn't. Well, it did, but it doesn't count. But yeah, at that point, you're thinking, oh, they're back in it. Don't throw this away. Because if Warrington scored again at that point, and it comes, it's like 19-14, they've got the wind in the sail, the crowd behind them, you're in trouble. But we weathered that storm absolutely brilliantly. Again, we've just sort of regathered ourselves and cut out any errors, and again snuffed out everything Warrington did, because they had a few chances after that where they dropped the ball on the line. I think they were trying to do a crash ball through the line, and it went to the video ref again for some reason, even though I was at the opposite end I'm partially sighted and I could see that he knocked on, so I'm not sure what the referee was looking at. I'm not having a dig at the ref, by the way. I thought he had a decent game. But there was a few times we snuffed him out on the line, some last bit defence. Hankinson, again, magnificent at fullback. And then obviously we built up to, our another special moment.
Yeah, wonderful try. Dion Cross's second. Lovely kick by Mark Sneed. Just measured brilliantly. And Dion Cross dives over to score. Relief all around. And we've got daylight again between us and them. And that's the thing, like you said, Parker, when they got back into it, you started to think to yourself, crowd. A commentator was talking about how, this could be the big comeback from Warrington.
Wow.
And like you said, we just managed the game out. And that's the important thing. It's in pressure cooker games that if you are games like this where you remember how you shut a game down, you can do that then. So it's a good exercise for the things that are to come for me.
Yeah, there's been a few times this year. Castle away when we got in front and we threw it away again by just not concentrating. And there's been a few times this season we've sort of done that. And but yeah, that's right. By the way, Dave Woods' commentary, I watched it back. It was cringeworthy. I don't think he could have got any further up Warrington's backsides if he'd have tried. I think at one point he was willing him over. Anyway, I don't know, he's a Leeds fan, so that's a bit odd. But anyway, that try, Mark Sneed, the kick is unbelievable. Like you say, to get it inch perfect like that, but he comes off the outside of his boot as well. It's not off the top, it's not off his laces. He's had a look and he's placed it onto the outside of his boot. And it's honestly, if someone in the NRL does that, people are screaming about it. You know, over here it's just, oh well, it's just Mark Sneed doing what he does. But and again, Dion Cross to be switched, because obviously he'd signalled before what he was going to do, and Dion Cross followed instructions. You just chase this because that's where it's going. You know where I'm going to put it. That communication is you can't buy that. And yeah, I mean that just killed the game from that point on. They knew that they weren't getting back in it. And again, when we scored that, I thought, you know what, we might go on again here. We might push on. But every try we scored was special for different reasons. But when you see Mark Sneed do that, it does just make you smile.
Different gravy, Mark Sneed when he's on form. Looking at the stats, Parker. Team stats, completion rate, they completed at 93%. We completed at 96%. They made 1,273 meters. We made 1,425 meters. Post contact meters, they had 561. We had 621. Errors were 6 apiece, and missed tackles made 36. We made 30.
Surprises me that. I didn't think there was 12 errors in the game, which is odd. And I wouldn't have said there was that many missed tackles from either team. Probably quite a few more from them than us, but seems a bit, you know. I mean, you don't when you're there, you're not really counting that. But it didn't seem like there was many errors. It seemed like it flowed really well, the game. I thought it was probably a decent, you know, if you're a neutral, probably a decent watch. But yeah, again, the meters, making more meters than the opposition. You do that when you're on top, and obviously scoring long range tries, you're making up a lot of meters. But it was our forwards who just kept pounding and pounding through the middle, and then you've got Nenny McDonald, you've got Timmy Laffey, and like I say, the back three was superb. The two wingers and fullback, faultless throughout the game, and every time they brought the ball back, it was assured. Just keeping the ball alive again. I mean, like, was it last week against London where we caught the ball behind the line, going behind the line, slipped the ball out, and we ended up scoring. And the way they're all working together, backing each other up, it's just brilliant to watch at the moment. But yeah, I think them stats really sort of stand up for the game, because it does seem it was fairly even, really. But I thought that first half we just killed them and put them out of the game anyway. Yeah.
Top meter makers: Ethan Ryan 190, Nina McDonald 181, Tim Laffey 150, Dion Cross 177, Shane Wright 72, Chris Hankinson 174, Mark Sneed 86, Callum Watkins 62.
Wasn't that long ago we weren't getting any 100 meters. But
yeah.
No, it's half the team. That's incredible. Especially, I mean, again, from our back line. None of them meters made from them guys. They do so much work because we haven't got a big pack. They take so much workload off. And can you imagine if we did have, you know, a couple of big boppers out there as well? What a difference it'd make to us. But yeah, I can't help but, you know, you just got to doff your cap at the work rate of them. None of them none of them seem to be, you know, breathing for air or anything like that. They just get up and do it again. And then McDonald, I think at one point he took 2 or 3 drives in seconds, really, just to get us out of where we were. And the meters they make, it's not just they're taking the drive, they're actually breaking the tackle and making meters, landing on the front, quick play the ball. Brilliant to watch. Yeah, those meters are incredible. 170s, 180s, 190s from so many players. That's just insane, really.
Yeah. Top tacklers: Brad Singleton 27, Sam Stone 52, Callum Watkins 41, Oliver Patterson 34, Shane Wright 32.
Wow, Ollie Parkinson wasn't top tackler this week. He needs. I think Rolls needs to have a word with him. Pull his finger out. Sam Stone 52 tackles. Wow, try assist virtually. What a game he had. He was everywhere, and he again another player. He just keeps going. Doesn't please? I don't want to come off for 10 minutes. Don't want to do it. Just keep him on there and do what he does. Brilliant. He's only going to get better, Sam Stone. That's the truth of the matter. The older he gets, but 52 tackles in a game like that, phenomenal. And again, so some of the other players who were in there doing big tackles again. If you mentioned the ones that were doing sort of 30 odd tackles, there'd be plenty in there that was probably doing 15, 20 as well, just to help out. Great team effort.
Yeah. Big thanks for your 3-word man of the match reports. David Deakin, faultless first half. Every one of them is man of the match for him. Stuart Smart, superb away day. Ethan Ryan, Colin Wilson, excellent team performance, man of the match, 1-17. Liz Wright, 1 word, tremendous. The fans, she says, man of the match. Dave Wallin, virtually faultless display. Mark Sneed show, Sneed. OSF perfect team performance, Sneed. Mark clinical disciplined watch, Hankinson. James Hoskinson, Sneed masterclass, Sneed. Anita superb team effort, Sneed, Cross and Stone. Natalie Taylor kicking class, man of the match, all our backs. Matt Joyce to watch, Dion Cross. Dave Parker absolutely outplayed Hankinson. Lee Newbold perfect away day, Hankinson. Duncan Van Damadozi, team effort. George Simpson simply the best. Jeff Whitlow perfect first half, Hankinson. And Andy C, superb aggressive defence, McDonald. So yeah, fans happy, players happy, playing some good stuff. We're all happy.
Yeah, it reminded me I've got some catching up to do. For the man of the match. That's just filled me with fear. Look, there's so many names there, weren't there? Different names. I mean, Joe Mellor didn't get a mention. Yeah, I thought it was again brilliant. I think Singleton, Dodson, superb up front. In fact, the whole pack really. But Hankinson at fullback, I don't know what you do with Ryan Braley.
Good question.
For me, I've always said you don't change a winning team, and the last 2 weeks we've won. Last 2 matches. So what do you do? Do you leave Ryan out? Wow, that's a big call. That's a really big call because it's obviously not just what Ryan does. He's who he is, what influence he has on the team. But it gives Rolls a great opportunity. If rather than having to rush a player back like we normally do, if he needs an extra week just to be perfect, we can give it him. Because Chris Hankinson right now, for me, is undroppable. He was before his injury when he was on the wing. He got injured, missed a while, come back, stick him at fullback. You wouldn't know the difference. You think he played another one that played there all his career. I actually thought that he'd go on the wing and Ethan Ryan would go fullback. Rolls has seen something there. I mean, the thing is about Hankinson, his positioning is brilliant. He catches the ball every time, but when he drives the ball in, he's solid. He makes meters. He goes forward and he challenges the defense. It's not an easy tackle to make. He's not going to go down easy, and I think that's something you need from fullback. So again, we might have King V back next week. What do you do there? Amir Borough? No, I don't. It makes a change for us to have these issues, but I mean there must be great issues to have. But again, what do you do with Lewis on his debut? Do you ease him into the Super League, or do you throw him again against Saints on Sunday? From what I saw of him, you leave him where he is. So do you change the 17 despite having some key players coming back? I don't think you do. I really don't. So hopefully, if we've got a clean bill of health this week, Paul Rowley's got some head scratching to do.
It's competition for pace, isn't it? That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what we want. Everyone's competing for a place. Everyone lifts the team. Performances will hopefully continue to rise, and next thing you know, if we're injury free running into the playoffs in form, we become a very, very dangerous team. So let's move on to our ladies, who were a very, very dangerous team on Friday. I'll tell you that for nothing. They were away at Castleford and won 90 points to 0. It was all in grandstand, Parker. We'd have 90 written in brackets.
when I saw it, I saw it at half time. I think like 40-0 up at half time or something like that. And usually teams ease off or whatever. I thought it might end up like 50 odd or 60, and they'll Castle get a couple of tries. This is Castleford, by the way. This isn't some amateur club. And when I saw the full time result, I was in shock. I was sending it I think I sent it to you, lads. Then I sent it to everybody I knew on WhatsApp, I think. Absolutely incredible. To score 90 points in 80 minutes of rugby it's virtually impossible to do. I know we've got a few, we had a couple against Gateshead back in the, in what the early 2000s or whatever it was, but that is some effort to keep going, not giving up, and not taking it easy on the opposition, because why should we? I don't like seeing it happen to teams unless if it happened to Wigan or Saints or Bradford when they put 96 on us. If we'd have done it the other way around, I'd have probably laughed and thought, yeah, okay, it's about time. But I don't think it does anybody any favours. But you've got to have that mentality that you think, well, I'm not giving up. I've got a chance to score it. I'm going to do it. No sympathy for the opposition. And to score 90 points, that is just ridiculous.
Yeah. Mike Grady was very happy the fact that they kept playing and kept scoring. Yeah. Also very happy the fact that Cass had a period in that first half towards the back end where they were sat on our line for a couple of sets and our ladies held them out. Big defence. I know we're going to talk about the 90 points, but the 0 is really important as well. You can score loads of points, but if your defence is tight, it can be a good thing going into the playoffs. Yeah,
he said that in the interview, didn't he? He said that, I know it's boring to say, but the nil pleased him probably as much as the 90 in that way, that to keep somebody scoreless is very, very difficult in rugby league these days. The way it only takes a little bit of momentum and, you're behind it. And, obviously we snuffed out anything they had and then just went on the rampage. We had a tough start to this year. And we've built really well. I think we've won quite a few recently. I think we had one slip up in between, but generally it's been on a winning roll. In tough games, though, they've all been fairly close. Sorry, I think we're being invaded. No, it's a helicopter. We're being invaded by something. I'm next to the hospital, obviously. So, and it's just, we've built into something now. We had a few new faces come into the club, which we needed because we were short on numbers. And it was going to take a while because of the turnover at the start of the year. This is what I've tried to explain to a few people. They were a bit like, oh, well, it's all gone wrong, hasn't it? I said, well, no, not really. When you lose 7 or 8 players of the calibre that we did, they went to Super League clubs. There's a reason they've gone that way. They didn't just leave us. They're not gone, to our rivals in terms of teams around us. They got poached to bigger teams, and that shows the level that they'd got to. And we had to rebuild. A bit like the first team every year, men's team, you get your best players snatched off you, you rebuild, and now we're seeing that. And to go out and put 90 on somebody and nail them at the same point, you can't emphasize how difficult that is. And what an effort has gone in there. And them girls, you saw at the end of the game, they were absolutely buzzing. And the lift that'll have given them now for the rest of the season, you won't want to face them next.
No. So we're going to quickly run through the timeline. So get comfy, Parker.
We've got time.
My 15 minutes as me. Just get comfy. So first try was Marine Kelly Lee off an interception, ran 90 metres. Cass, early on in the game, Cass were pressing. Big shift from right to left. She was joining on the spot. Picked up the ball, intercepted it, ran 90 metres to score. Salford's second try, Michelle Davis. Good work by Sam Evans and Tazka Corrin linked up, sent her over. We went 18-0 up shortly after. Tazka Corrin went short side to go 18-0. Sam Evans kicked the goal. And then Michelle Davis scored a second try. Good ruck speed, causing chaos in the Castleford defence. She popped up and scored a second try. Then we scored another try, bombed by Salford, dropped by the Castleford winger. Alex Simpson scooped the ball up, raised over from 30 metres to make it 28-0. Then Emily Bagley got on the score sheet, ran against the grain, burst through the line to make it 34-0. And Salford were in complete control at that point.
Well, you're scoring that regularity. I think there's a thing there where you can start to overplay a bit or start to get a little bit cocky and you start making mistakes and things fall apart. and it's keeping that momentum. Staying switched on and going through what you've practiced to keep going like that, rather than just going off script and thinking, "Oh, this is easy. We'll score, whatever we want." And it's obviously something they've built on, something they've worked on throughout the week or whatever, and then just stuck to it. Every player stuck to the task.
Yeah. So Michelle Davis got a hat-trick try linking up with Taz. She sent Davis over for the score. Final try of the first half, Summer Harris, big shift from right to left. Harris went over in the corner. 44-0 at half time. Second half started. Mistake by Castleford. Taz Corran picked the ball up from the dummy half, raced over to make it 50. Michelle Davis got a fourth try shortly after. Then Darcy Price scored, raced 50 metres, burst the line. One of those dream prop forward tries that they like to talk about. Well, literally happened, raced 60 metres and crashed over under the posts.
Yeah, good for Darcy. I've not really seen her name that much this year. Has she been a regular?
Yeah, she's in and about. Yeah.
No, why? I know, because obviously I looked out for her in the off season when she went to play for Jamaica, didn't she? In the off season as well. And then I thought, oh, hopefully she'll get to build on this and the experience. And I've not really seen her name pop up that much. But yeah, for a prop forward to score them kind of tries, yeah, it's usually crashed over and then the story gets longer than the actual try was. But this time it's the other way around. Yeah, brilliant, great for her.
Yeah. Alex Simpson got a second try, big switch from left to right. Simpson went over in the corner. Lily Gray scored the next try, same again, big switch. She went over in the corner. Simpson got a hat trick, try shortly after that. And then one of our new players, Tina Milan, burst the Castleford line in the middle, kind of act to run around the fullback to score. She was very impressive, I thought, last week. She thought she was brilliant. I thought she was brilliant this week as well. Michelle Davis got a fifth try shortly after, assist from Simpson, and then Simpson got her fourth, the final try of the game. Lily Gray assisted her, and she crashed over to make it 90-0. I think Sam Evans kicked 10 from 11, I think. So it shows, like you say, if you're turning fours into six, it's how how the score racks up.
Yeah, and I mean, probably records were broken there for the ladies team. I know we've only been going sort of 3 years, but still. And I think even in the men's record books, I think that the most one of our players ever scored is 6 in a game. So they were close. She was close to equaling that, which is, again, it shows we've been going 150 years as a men's team. So it shows the effort that she's put in. Great performance. I mean, did 2 players get 4 or something, and one got 5? Or
Michelle Davis got 5. Alex Simpson got 4. I think Taz might got a couple, I think, as well. So, 17 tries. It's mad. Like you say, it's crazy. But, the Grady way, he did say that he felt it was coming. So, like you say, it shows when it all clicks and, they get momentum, they get go forward and they keep the ball, they'll score tries.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's part of this, this DNA that we're talking about that runs through the club, right from hopefully next year, the academy, reserves, the ladies. You come and watch Salford, you're going to get entertained. You're going to see attacking rugby as it should be. And hopefully if you keep the opposition to 0, I mean, that's magnificent. Did you say 17 tries?
Yeah.
So if every one of them is booted, it's 102 points.
That's what I said.
I mean, but I'm just astounded that 102 points.
Yeah.
I think that would be crazy. So yeah, I mean, it probably is 17. I don't know, but absolutely unbelievable result. And again, even though we've had a couple, we lost a couple of games, points difference come the playoffs at the end of the year for the girls, or even a race for the championship. Them points, they're going to count massively. I'm worried. Yeah, I'm worried that with the first team, the effort the lads are putting in every week, but we're still our points difference is only just plus. I know Leeds has got into a minus now. The ladies have got, that's massive for them come the end of the year if they need it, and that could be an extra point if you like in terms of where you're going to finish on the table. So if we need it for the playoffs, that's a massive result in the middle of the season.
Yeah, like you say, if you're on for a playoff spot, that goal difference point difference make a massive difference, doesn't it? So, yeah, fantastic result for our ladies. Like you say, Michelle Davis, Sam Evans, Taz Corcoran, Alex Simpson,
Well,
forwards going forward. You've got pace to burn on the outside as well. You feel sorry for Cass really, in a way. But you can only play what's in front of you, and our leaders were brilliant, I thought. Moving on to our reserves, though, they played Warrington reserves, went down to defeat 44-22. Tough game for the reserves. Battled hard. Warrington started well. A try from Aaron Liddup and Ewan Smith, and they were 10-0 up, Parker. But we fought back. Try from Nathan Connell, little kick through by Kai Morgan, and Connell was there to score. Salford then equalised with a try from Brad Hammond. King V with a bit of a weaving run, and Hammond was on the spot to crash over the line. And then Salford went in front. Try from Charlie McCurry. Link up between Morgan and Parcell sent him over, and Salford led 16-10 half time.
Yeah, sorry, half time. I like that McCurry. I think he's got a massive future. I think he's going to be a really, really good player, by the way. Obviously, we've got Kai Morgan, Nathan Connell in there, a few others. Obviously, we mentioned them the other week. Yeah, I saw it when we were in the lead, and I thought, here we go again. Is it going to be like 3 on a bounce? Obviously, we'd had some great results recently, but the trouble is at the moment with the reserves is that players that come and go in terms of they'll be drafted into the first team, like Wilson, I think, this week, and Amir Burrow went in there, so does that change things? Big King V again. You're not sure who you're going to have most weeks, so to get an actual team together, in terms of bonding and getting those connections that you need, it's slightly more difficult at the moment. So we get a settled reserves, we'll be all right. But the other thing is we came up against Warrington there, who a lot of them players that played against us this week played against Wigan a couple of weeks ago, Wigan's first team, and got beat by a point. We're not talking, it's not a level playing field in many ways in that way. Warrington's will be a lot more experienced. There'll be players in there that you'll know the name of, that you'll have seen play. And again, you probably saw him 2 weeks ago before Warrington went to Wembley, pushed Wigan all the way. So, there's no sort of shame in this result, by the way. It was always going to be a tough task away from home there when we're switching players in and out and they've got a team like that. But, when we took the lead, I thought, because I saw it on X, I thought, here we go again. Something special's happening here. But we nearly had, 2 or 3 perfect weekends on the bounce.
Yeah. Fortunately for Salford, it turns into the Kai Taylor-Ray show in the second half. He scored 4 tries, 2 straight after half time. It was a crucial try scored by Zach Brady Rowe, where they kicked to the corner, could have gone anywhere, bounced in Rowe's hand. He raced away 90 metres to score, which put them 10 points clear at that point. In the middle of all that, King V scored for us, crashed over under the post to make it 32-22, but then 2 tries towards the end from Warrington took it away from us. But like you said, they're a good side, the Warrington. Yeah. They've got a good system in place. They're producing talent. Our boys put a good fight up. We were in front, 1 point and going into half time, which shows that, we were the dominant at some point. So, yeah, I'm sure Stuart Wilson will have been proud of his boys' efforts, and they would have learnt a lot going forward into the next game.
I think there at Warrington, you can see the advantage of the academy system, if you like. What Warrington have done for years, and they still do it slightly, but he's gone out and just signed big name players for the first team, and never really for such a big rugby league town, never really produced enough in terms of talent. And the last couple of years, you've seen it come through. Thewlis in the first team, he's a magnificent player. They've got quite a few coming through now. They've built over the last few years, and that's obviously their plan now, to weed out doing this, going out spending thousands on players, bring them through their academy. And now you see it that their reserves are so strong that their reserves pushed a great Wigan team a couple of weeks ago. That's the level that they're at, and that's where hopefully in 2 or 3 years' time we can be in that progression from our academy system through the reserves and into the first team, and that's what we're looking to do. And I think Warrington's an example of that. So, like you say, going there and getting beat by them there's no shame in that. In development of where we're at, I'm not sure we're competing with Warrington, Saints, Wigan at the moment, even Leeds maybe. But that's the progress that can be made, and that's where we're going to be hopefully in 2 or 3 years' time.
Yeah. Let's move on to our physical disability team. They were in action this weekend as well. They played a joint Sheffield and York team and won 30 points to 6. Tries by Jack Heffernan, Jake Forbes, Lee Forbes, Sean Begley-Jones and Dylan Turner. 30 points to 6. Great result.
Brilliant result. I didn't know this game was on. I didn't know anything about it, unfortunately, until you mentioned it before we came on air. And brilliant, great result. I mean, that's a bit of a thumping, another thumping. Yeah, it's becoming a habit for the club at the moment. Yeah, brilliant. Again, I wish there were more. It was more advertised. These games are on, and we need to have more of them. By the way, but some names there as well that we're starting to get to know. And hear of every time they play. But great result, brilliant. I hope we can, like I say, I hope we just get to see more of them. Hopefully at home at some point. We need perhaps a festival coming up or something like that. But we need more games for them. Obviously the physical, their disability, learning disability, even the wheelchair team. We need more. But yeah, great result, great progress, and sort of more like besides the reserves, which again, no issue there. They've had a great run recently. It's topped off a really good weekend for the club, and something that we can all build on and should be very, very proud of.
Yeah, they also played Hull FC, but went down to defeat 22-0. So 1-1, lost 1. Great result for the physical disabilities team. So that's the match reports for all our teams, and now we'll see what's happening in the world of Salford Devils. We're going to start with Armed Forces t-shirt. Big Armed Forces Day on Sunday, the game against St Helens. The club have unveiled a new bit of merch, green and black camo look. Parquet. Looks nice. It's in the shop as well, available if you want to go down and purchase it.
Yeah, they've got these special t-shirts. It's like the 3 years running now, isn't it? I know they had one the other year. Was it red and black? And then we had I think 1 year before that. I can't remember what that one looked like. But yeah, really good. The amount of people I've seen already on sort of social media asking the club, are they available? And they said, yeah, they're in the shop now. So, I mean, I must say I went to the shop last week, made a purchase. I would have made a couple, but they didn't have my size. So I'm waiting for that. Anyway, yeah, and I went in. When I walked in, there was people in there. And this was was this Thursday or Wednesday last week? So it was during the day. So I didn't expect anybody to be there. Came out, walked around, went back, and there was people in there again. So it looks like he's doing well. So yeah, so new merch going in. I think they'll fly out. I really do. Armed Forces Day is always a good chance for us to show a bit respect and thanks to the to the boys and girls who protect us and risk their life every day in many ways. So yeah, I think they'll sell really well. I don't know how it works, proceeds and that kind of thing. I'm sure someone can explain that to me, or the club will do it. But yeah, people will be getting their hands on them. I'm sure there'll be plenty of them. Like I say, if the weather's good, you'll see them on Sunday. Yeah.
So get yourselves down to the shop and get merched up ready for Sunday. Salford in the Trafford Centre on Saturday. They had like a wheel giving away prizes, shirts and teddy bears, balls, trying to ram up a bit of excitement and a bit of publicity. I think it's great. Trafford Centre on a Saturday, mad as cheese. Those people running around everywhere. You can get yourself on the main drag there, producing things for people that want it for free. It's only be good.
It's brilliant. I mean, it's on our doorstep. I know we've got a link with them again now, haven't we? After those years, we split up between the two of us. Look, on a Saturday, the Trafford Centre, it doesn't get much better advertising. You're not going to get much bigger. Certainly not in rugby league terms. I don't think anybody else in rugby league has got that to offer. I really don't. The passing traffic through there is incredible. We all know. We've all been there on a Saturday, and as many of us dread. It's an absolute nightmare. It's absolutely battered, but brilliant from the club, brilliant from the Trafford Centre to allow it to to take place. It's free advertising, simple as that, and you've got to make the most of it. And I must admit, I didn't know anything about it until I saw it on social media on Saturday. And there was seemed to be plenty going on. I don't know if they were giving out tickets as well to people, perhaps, if you won a prize. I don't know what was going on. But one thing I didn't notice, I think they had cards there, didn't they, for Father's Day?
Yeah.
Which was, it's a great idea, really. You pass it, you think, yeah, get one of them. But yeah, brilliant, great sort of initiative, really, for the club to get out there and get that marketing machine going, especially for a big game coming up this week. But we've got the Trafford Centre. Let's use it.
Yeah. So lots of, like I say, pictures on social media, lots of happy smiley faces, loads of kids, loads of merch, great publicity for the club. Well done. Other things that are happening in the club, the Salford Devils Foundation are running the summer schools from Eccles College. One is from the 30th of July to the 1st of August, the 3rd of August to the 8th of August, 12th of August to the 15th of August, 19th of August to the 22nd of August. £10 a day. Obviously, with summer, when you've got kids, you need to find things for them to do. So this is an opportunity to put your kids in this fantastic program that the foundation run. They'll have great fun, and obviously it'll be benefit for the foundation too. Yeah,
when was the first date? Sorry,
30th of July to the 1st of August.
That's good. Yeah, brilliant. You'll know more than me, you and Paul, and all you lot running on with kids. How you find something for them to do to keep them busy through the summer as well? I mean, it's all right taking them on holiday if you get a chance, or you can have a day out here and a day out here, but to keep them busy for all that period. So this is a great, it combines two things. I mean, get your exercise, and obviously a lot of them love the club anyway. Love rugby. It's just ties everything up nicely, and it gets them, from under your feet for a few hours, I would have thought. So yeah, brilliant. We say it all the time. The club, they offer so much, don't they, that they probably don't shout about enough. And this is another one of them, and hopefully, we can get a great turnout.
Yeah. So it's 9:30 till 3 p.m. Contact sam.barsley@salfordcc.ac.uk and obviously get your child booked on there. Two sad bit of news, also sad news. A Salford great, Billy Burgess, passed away recently. Paul, he joined Salford for £6,000. Famous for an off the ball incident in the Challenge Cup final in 1969. A zippy winger, a try scorer. I know our thoughts are with his friends and family at this time.
Yeah, well, Bill was obviously a legend at Barrow before we signed him, and he became part of our, the early days of what we were building at that point under Brian Snape. He came in at the time of Watkins and Koolman, and obviously them kind of players played at Wembley. And that incident you mentioned at Wembley, where my dad is adamant they took him out early because they knew he was a danger man.
Yeah.
They kicked off, took him out of the game, and that was it. There was no sub. There was no way he was. And he didn't have a clue what day it was at that point. A brilliant try scorer from what I was told. He was one of them players that I know my dad loved him as a player when we signed him, and one of my uncles used to tell me about him. The fact that he was quick, he was clever, he's just a great winger, and we obviously poached him from Barrow because we knew what he had, and we were building something special. And clearly, you look at his try scoring record. I think even with us, he was only with us a few years, I think, but he scored something like 1 in 2 for us at that time as we were building. That was before we became what we became later in the 70s. That's when we were only just building a team. So, yeah, very sad loss, Bill. And we've lost quite a few in recent times, and you forget that these guys are, they're getting on. It comes to us all, but it's always bad when we lose a legend of the game, not just of us. What he did at Barrow was magnificent. So yeah, obviously, like you say, condolences to his family, and hopefully, we can have a minute's silence or applause or whichever way it's going to go on Sunday for him. But another sad loss to the club.
Yeah, I'm sure the club have got something planned for the game against Helens. We're recording this Tuesday night, so there's plenty of days for the club to come out and tell us what exciting things are happening on Armed Forces Day. But like Parker said, it's a sad loss. But like my dad's the same when he speaks about that 69 Cup final. Definitely took Burgess out early doors. Definitely very bitter about it. But like I say, he was a class player, wasn't he? And so sort of Castleford knew they had to do a number on him, and that's what happened.
Yeah, maybe these days, in the way that the game's gone, there'd have been a red card issued there, and the game would have gone another way, and we'd have been celebrating an open top bus for the Challenge Cup in '69. You don't know, but yeah, that's the way the game was back then. You take out the main man, don't you? That's what you did, and the couple of things went against us that day, and that was one of them. But yeah, I mean, for those who were privileged enough to see him, they all spoke, so highly about him as a player. And yeah, a sad loss, and we'll commemorate him on Sunday, hopefully.
Yeah. So that's all the news, and now we'll look forward to the big games this weekend. So we'll start with our ladies. They're away at Hull Kingston Rovers. Parker will be a tough contest. Both sides are in and pushing for a playoff spot. 3rd v 4th. They have a game in hand on us. Records are similar. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, never good going there, is it? Never easy going all the way up there and playing against them. And yeah, I noticed. I looked at the table at the weekend, and I noticed OKR were up there. I think they'll be building something at the moment, like they are with their men's team. The club as a whole, OKR at the moment is on a bit of a high. So it'll be very, very tough to go there and get anything. But when you've scored 90 points the week before, you've got to be full of confidence that you can go and do something. And the thing is that they've got that fresh injection of players from the trials the other week. So we don't know quite where we're at as well yet, as the squad settles down and new players come in and blend. So this might be the start of something. We might be building, so maybe don't travel with fear going up there. If we can get a win there, wow, what a turnaround we've had in this season. But it'll be tough for the girls, but there's no reason why not. Like I say, you've just scored 90 points. You prove what you can do. In many ways, used it as I don't want to say this because I don't want to be disrespectful to Cass, but used it as a training game as well. You've had an extra week, if you like, to build up for this. So, yeah, could be a cracker up there. Really could be. It's a shame it is away because, we'd like to get to see the girls get behind them again, but there's plenty of time in the season yet. But, we just got to wish them all the best and, a safe journey up there.
Yeah, I'm sure, obviously, Mike Grady will have got them set up. Obviously, I think the danger is when you score that many points one week, you think, I'll just turn up this week and start pinging it around again. And it's not always like that. Your forwards will have to make your meters to provide the platform for your halfbacks and your wingers to score the tries. We've got a good side. We've got quality all over. Hull KR will be a tough fixture away from home. Like I said before, both in the playoffs. It's going to be fascinating to see if we can obviously continue this good vein of form we're in.
And I think the other thing is, like I said before, about when we were scoring all them points, we stuck to. I'm going to nick somebody saying here, but we stick to a process.
Oh, yeah.
We went, but what we didn't go off beat and just start throwing the ball about, and then the game goes to ruin a little bit. Things don't come off. We've clearly stuck to what we'd worked on. So if you take that into every game, you're not going to score 90 points. You might not even score 20 points, but you stick to what you do in terms of what you've trained and what Mike's told the girls to go out and do. It's obviously working. So go and do it again and just keep going. And yeah, not everything's going to come off every week. You're not going to have a golden week like that every week. But if you stick to what you're being told to do and stick to the process, doesn't work for everyone, but you've got a better chance. And just go up there and play the same way. Don't come off that. And, Ulker will throw a lot more at us clearly than Cass did. But if we just stick to what we've been doing, we could be okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna nick a Paul Rowley quote. Don't go too high, don't go too low. Just stay in the zone. and
Yeah.
and you'll get the result. So yeah, good luck to our ladies at Old Kingston Rovers. Will be a really good game. Moving on to our Paul Rowley's men. They are at home to St Helens. Big game. Armed Forces Day. Big crowd expected. Hopefully good weather. Going to be a good day. Remember last year's Armed Forces Day was amazing. Lots of representation from the army, and loads of guns, loads of big noises. Yeah, good times.
Yeah, and I remember that cannon going off. Yeah, I think I shed more than a tear that day. But that was brilliant day. Really was. It was a Wigan game, wasn't it? I think was it last year? That was the Wigan game. A great crowd, great atmosphere, brilliant to see. The club using their initiative and going out there. I know today that a few of our players, the injured ones mainly, have been at the War Museum or whatever it's filmed a couple of days ago. I'm not sure, with new gear on. Great promotion, but like I say, it's good to be supporting the armed forces in the way we are. So hopefully we can get a few of them guys down there to, ex-forces to come and have a look and watch us. And what a game to pick! Two great attacking sides, both play the game in the right way. I think. Hopefully, like you say, the weather could be good. It's got everything it needs, this game. And it doesn't get any easier, does it? You go away to Warrington one week, the week after you've got Saints at home. But that's what you want. You want to be in the mix, and that's the way the playoffs are going to be. And if we want to be in there, we've got to compete. And I'm really looking forward to this. I think the form we're showing. I think Saints have been a little bit stop-start this season. They're not quite the Saints that we used to. I'm not taking anything away from them. On the day, they can still destroy anyone they want. The weekend they had a run out against London, and the result was probably more than I expected in terms of the points they scored. But I don't think anyone doubted they were going to go down there and win. And I did say I didn't think London were going to score against them. I said that on the podcast last week when I gave my predictions. Saints are a magnificent side, certainly defensively. They are so difficult to get around. That's one thing. Maybe they've lost something in an attack, maybe that we're used to seeing from Saints in previous years, but defensively they're as tight as a drum. And that's what's going to make it so intriguing, because I think our defence has been excellent recently, not conceding too many points. The ones we did concede at the weekend against Warrington, one of them's slightly dubious. One's come off a ball that we've thrown out, an intercept, if you like. So we're pretty tough to beat. Saints are tough to beat. Both good attacking teams. I think it's going to be a cracker. And if the sun does come out, I hope people get down there, because both teams deserve backing, and we do at the moment. We're up there in the table. We're fifth in the table. I mean, who thought that at the start of the year? I certainly didn't. I'll put my hand up now. We deserve support right now, more than what we're getting in terms of numbers. But the backing we do give is phenomenal.
Yeah, big test. That's what it is. And in the playoff, if we do get to the playoff, we'll be playing teams like this week in, week out, won't we? Yeah. And to get into the playoffs, you've got to win your own games. And St Helens are a very good side. Probably not one of them teams that you think, when you look at the fixture list, Saints at home, you think, oh, we'll win that one, because they will bring a big crowd. Saints are St Helens, world champions last year, weren't they? Quality players all over. But like you said, Parker, we went to Warrington, tough place to go, and put a right number on them. Completed it 95%, played some good rugby, game management was good, game smarts was good. Why can't we go and beat Saints at home? Really, the form we're in, we're joint fourth, I think, or something in the playoffs at the moment. If you want to be, to stay in the playoffs, you've got to keep winning, and it doesn't really matter who you play, but it's going to be tough. But I'm confident that if they put in a similar performance like they did against Warrington, then who knows?
Well, and let's not forget that we did a number on them at their place this year. I know we're still all in shock, but it definitely happened. And they'll be, so that adds another sort of bit of ingredients, because they'll be looking for revenge. They're the team that got beat off Salford at home after 40 years. So they've got a point to prove in many ways to their fans, which just, like I say, it just adds to the ingredient. But we went there and beat them, and we beat them fairly, and played really well to do so, coming from behind in that game as well. So we've got that confidence behind them that we know we can beat them. And we've had, a few decent results in over the years against Saints, a few fairly big ones, a couple of the Willows I remember, and then one at our gaff a couple of years back where we battered them. We really did. I can't remember how many we scored. If we got into the 50s, I can't remember. But there's a target there. I know Paul Rowley won't be interested in this. He's not interested in history. He doesn't care what happened last week. Never mind 20 years ago or whatever. But could we do a double over Saints? That's been a while, So that's something else to look at. So the game's got everything. And I think, I don't think Saints will be looking forward to coming.
No.
After what they saw the other day.
I think, obviously, team selection headache maybe for Paul Rowley as well. He did say Ame Butter was fit, played in the reserves against Warrington. Ryan Bradley might be fit. Do you bring them in? Hankinson, Joe Shorrocks, maybe he played at hooker. I think when you're playing against the very best, like say Helens, Wigan, it's them 1%, isn't it? It's that you play, even though I say Joe Shorrocks is a loose forward second row, fills in at hooker, does an okay job at hooker, but he's not a natural hooker. So do you bring Ame Burra in, who is a natural hooker? Don't forget, before I got injured, he was playing really well as well. But then who do you drop out? Don't think you can drop Logan Lewis, Harvey Wilson. Don't think you can drop in. He did a good sort of 20-25 minutes when he came on as well. So selection headaches for Paul Rowley. And like you say, with Hankinson, solid performer at the back, making his tackles, taking his drives in, 160 meters or something he's made last week. He's Ryan. We know what Ryan Bradley brings to the table, that extra dimension round the back. But why would you change something that's working?
This is the issue we've got now, and also you're trying to keep a squad happy as well. So you don't want to leave players out for too long, but then you don't want to, say you had a great game, but sorry, you're not in this week. But it is competition. The other thing is, obviously, the player we haven't mentioned in that way, Chris Atkin. Is he? Well, I know he got a knock against London, so is he? But again, if you're going on about hooker, and you've got Joe Mellor playing in there, he's been brilliant. Shorrocks has been doing well. Atkin could go in there. Borough. What do you do there? I don't know, and that's why I'm, obviously not a head coach. Well, that and various other reasons, but it's a dilemma we've got to solve in many ways. I know what you're saying. I think Wilson possibly could miss out for experience in terms of maybe in a game like this you might need King V back on the bench. Maybe I know he can be up and down, but he is experienced at the top level, and possibly needs to we need a bit more bulk as well, because Saints have got some huge forwards, so that could be another way of looking at it, that you might need that just that experience against Saints, like you're going about that 1%, somebody who's been there in them big games. That might be, a little bit too soon for Wilson, maybe. I don't know. These are just, hypothetical, really. But when you've got players coming back, what do you do? So it's a tough one. It is. I mean, for me, I don't generally like changing winning teams, like I said earlier. But maybe for this, one off the bench could be a difference.
Yeah, I think so. Paul Rowley wouldn't know how the likes of Logan Lachlan or Harvey Wilson will react unless you throw them in. So you'll never know, will you?
I still think you introduce them slowly. I do. I think playing them week in, week out as well at Super League is a big ask. 2 big games in 2 weeks. I know they only played short minutes, and I've got no problem with Logan playing again. I don't think. I think he showed enough in that way. I'm not sure Wilson's quite at that level yet, as he was shipped around quite a bit, even from Wigan this year, wasn't he? He played at Bradford. He's played a lot of Championship this year. I'm not having he might turn out to be a world beater. I don't know. None of us know. But at the moment, I think for the Saints game, I think you need your frontline players if you can. That's the only way I'm going to say. And yeah, there's merits in everybody. That's the problem you've got. But I just think possibly for this week, and then the week after, the next game we got Hull. Maybe that's the chance then to bring somebody else back into it and change it up, give somebody else a week off maybe. I'm not taking Hull lightly, don't get me wrong. They could turn their form around in no time. But just thinking for this game, I think you go with your proper front line that you would if you had everybody fit. I think that's what you'd do.
So is that Brierley over Hankinson then?
That's a tougher one. That really is a tougher one. I think Hankinson offers a lot of versatility in terms of if you had to move players about on the pitch on the day. If you lost the winger, you could stick him on the wing. So does Brierley come in and you put Hankinson on the bench? Can you play a back off the bench in a game like this? I don't know, but I don't drop Chris Hankinson right now.
No?
That's the way it is. And I think Ryan Brierley waits for his chance. Tough call, but that's the way I see it.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you. I think you need the extra dimension that Brierley brings. Hankinson, so under the high ball, solid bringing it back, but link-up play, Brierley gives you that extra. And I think against Helens, you need the extra bit of something. If he's fit. If he's not fit, if he's not 100% fit, then you stay with what you've got. But if Ryan Brierley is 100% fit on Sunday, Paul Rowley will know whether he's 100% fit. The physios will know 100% fit. If he is 100%, you play him. But if he's not, then you don't.
I think the thing with Ryan at the moment, Ryan Brierley, is that his game is over the last few years have been based off coming off a link up mainly with his standoff. Now at the moment that link isn't there. It's because there isn't a Brodie Croft to do that. That link between him and Brodie was brilliant when he got him into the line. I don't think that's there now, and I think we play a different way. And I'm not sure Ryan Brierley has been as productive as he has in previous years. Believe me, I'm not slagging the lad off. That is not where I'm going with this. I'm just saying that his game has to change because we've had to change. And again, even Rolls said on Friday night, and this might surprise a lot of people. He said we had to go through the middle of Warrington. We couldn't go around him. Now, normally, the way we would play is get around a team. Don't take them on at the middle. We're not big enough. But he changed it because he knows that the personnel is different without having an actual standoff. I mean, Chris Atkins, a great versatile player. He's not a standoff.
No.
Not really. But we haven't got an option. So that whole game play changes slightly. We have to do things differently. And does Chris Hankinson then fit better in that? I'm not a coach. I never will be. I'm just thinking, how does it work at the moment? How many tries has Ryan Brierley scored this year? Probably 6, perhaps. I don't know. Which is probably equivalent to where he would be. But how has he scored them? Is there a different way we're playing? I don't know. But again, he might not even be fit. So we don't know. If he's not 100%, don't play him because we don't need to. I'm not saying we don't want him, but we don't need to.
It's going to be Rennie Reds. Everyone's going to be headaches all round on Sunday. So, score prediction. Okay, we know sometimes you go with reputation over heart. Any difference this week?
I've not even thought about it.
You say that.
I know, but it's Tuesday. We're not playing until Sunday. I've got the week to go. I don't know what the squad's going to look like. Look, after Friday night, I can't help but be optimistic. I really can't. And I think Saints have been a little bit clunky at times this season. Not quite as good as they have been. The trouble is they're coming off an easier run, if you like, as in they had a week off, obviously, for the cup final like we did, so they've had time to prepare. Then they went to London. I know the trip's there, but the game itself, I don't know if you saw it, but Saints were just... They were going through the motions in many ways in second gear. It wasn't difficult for them. There was patches in the game where London were in it, yeah, but I think the scoreline reflects what happened. So they've had an easier time of it, if you like. But I watched us, and we looked like that week off in between had done us a world of good, rejuvenated the squad, give them an extra charge, and I think this week I think we might just have enough to turn them over, just have enough. So as I've just made all this up now off the top of my head, I'm gonna go.
Wise though.
I'm gonna go. Salford 22, St Helens 18.
18-22. I'm confident they'll win. I think if we can go to Warrington and win and play that well, we can play and beat Saints at home in front of a big crowd on Armed Forces Day. Hopefully sun out. Score. I'm going to go Salford 18, Saints 10. 18-10. Because I think it's going to be tight. I don't think it's going to be a points fest. I think we'll have enough to win.
Yeah, well, we just got. I mean, at the end of the day, the one thing that could decide Sunday is luck. A call from a referee, bounce of the ball, an injury, a red card, anything. You know, it can all turn on that. So I think it is. I think most neutrals would say Saints. They would go with Saints because that's what you do, and obviously they are still fighting it out for the top of the table and everything else. They had a great team. It's not, and they are better than Warrington, by the way, by a bit of a margin, I would say. But they're just not quite as good as they were, but they are still superb. So it could go either way. It really could. And I think most people would say it'd be an interesting one to watch, and it will be tight. And like I said earlier, both really good attacking teams, but defenses have got, are what's going to win this. So, yeah, I think it's been a great game. I really do. Like I said, especially after Friday night, I'm a lot more excited about it than possibly I would have been.
So that's the end of this week's podcast. Of a great show, Parky. Just need to break the news that we are locked and loaded in the Independent Podcast Awards. Our nominations are in. Obviously, I want to say a big thanks to all our listeners and Trevor Hunt and Shirley for their testimonials, which we put in to hopefully help our case. Obviously, we went into last year, didn't we, Parker? Eyes wide open, didn't really know what to expect. But 12 months on, we know what the winners do. And I think the last 12 months, we've molded this podcast into a podcast that is, can compete in this kind of thing. So I'm looking forward to see what happens in the months to come.
Yeah, look, it's in the lap of the gods, isn't it? Again, it's just one of those. It's nice to be in there. We just sit here and talk rugby. That's what we do. If you get recognised for it, then brilliant. If people don't like it, we can try and improve or whatever. But it is what it is at the moment. We are improving. We are trying to get better. So who knows? We might be celebrating something. I don't know when is it October or something?
Yeah, it's a while off.
It could be grand final time.
Yeah,
you never know. Might be a double celebration. Probably getting ahead of myself a bit there in both cases. But look, like I say, we're in the running. I think this year, like you say, I think we've come on a bit, and I think the extra bits that go on with a podcast now, the pop-ups and the little bit on social media, a little bit more is changed things slightly, and I think it is a different podcast now to where we were. We've still got a long way to go if we want to, to be where we want to be. But at the moment, this is just as as good as it can be right now. And I just thank everybody for listening, and like you say, for those who've sort of stood our corner, if you like, and fingers crossed, we'll find out in a few months.
Yeah, all the Kofi Reds as well for donating for the equipment, for the programs. Obviously, without that, it's just three lads and a laptop with bad sound, really. And it's been a journey. And like I say, I just want to say a big thanks for everyone who helps us along the way. So that's the end of this week's podcast. Big thanks for joining us. I've been Rob Parkinson. You can find us on Facebook, Devil in the Detail SRD. You can find us on X at DITDSRD. And you can find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, and rugbyleague.com. Good luck, Reds. We'll see you on the other side.